Okay, so this month, I know that like a lot of you are kind of starting fresh, or you have kind of like finally had that mindset shift, or you're a new coach who's really starting to work the business. And I think that it's going to be a huge month of growth. And I feel like that's why I want to talk about this topic tonight on this call, because I feel like it's really important right now to really kind of talk about our mindset and taking action moving forward. So the first thing I want to say is that it is a brand new month, guys. Like I talked about on the first of the month when I started sharing the positive affirmations and everything every day. It's a brand new month. You guys can make it whatever the heck you want to make it. Like, it seriously doesn't matter if you've been a coach for 2 years or 5 days. All you have to do is make that decision that you're going to make this month what you want to make it. Okay. So let go of any of the crap from last month or the month before or even from yesterday. Okay. Every day in this business is a brand new day. It's a fresh start. Okay. So let go of all that crap. And we're going to focus on starting now and making it what we want. But I also want to say we really need to start now. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but time flies, especially in our business. I feel like it flies quick. It is already the 5th of the month. Like I feel like this month literally just started. We're already almost through the first week of the month. Okay. So don't make the mistake of being like, oh, it's a new month, I got time. If you do that, you're going to get to the end of the month and you're going to be like, crap, what happened? Like, where did the whole month go? So commit, start now. It is a new month, but you need to start now because the month's going to be over before you know it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the fact that, like I said, I think I mentioned this in the team page. I was talking to a couple of my coaches about this, but literally, guys, it is all it takes in this business is a mindset shift. So all it takes is for you to decide that you're either going to commit or you're going to change your mindset or whatever it is. If you watch the video by Emily Favre that I shared, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but she talks about how for her business, it was literally just a mindset shift. That's all it was. She just one day was like, I'm going to do it. And then she completely transformed her business. Okay. Obviously, there's other things that go into it, like taking action, but all it takes in the beginning is that mindset shift. Okay. So once you have that, like, be excited, because once you really feel that and you really accomplish that mindset shift, that's when you're going to start to take off. Okay. So your mindset shift means you decide, I'm going to do it. I'm freaking going for this. It's going to happen. Okay. So that's the first step. You need to have that mindset shift. You need to decide that you're going for it and you need to be excited about it and you really need to believe it. Okay. And then the next step that's really important that a lot of people miss is then you need to take action. Okay. So I talk to so many coaches that are like, all right, I'm ready. I'm going to do it. Okay. This is going to be my month. And I've been guilty of this too. So I'm not preaching to the choir here. Okay. I do this myself, but it's like, all right, I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. I'm having that mindset shift and you get excited, but then you don't take action and then it flops. Right. And then like nothing happens. Okay. So have that mindset shift, say, I'm going to do it, and then take action. Okay. And do it. Okay. So say I'm going to do it and then actually do it. Okay. So hold on, I'm reading off my notes. So why did I write this? Oh, so I had decided on the first of the month that I wanted to start sharing something in the team page every day for this month. So in my challenge groups, I will do like a 30-day, I did like a 30-day gratitude journal challenge. Right now, I'm actually doing the 30 days of positive affirmations in my challenge group, which are usually pretty cool. People really seem to like those. So I had decided to start doing the positive affirmations in my challenge group. And then I was, really thinking about the team. And like I said, I was thinking about how I just feel like this is going to be a big growth month for a lot of people and for our team. So I'm like, what can I do to really kind of help coaches take action and have that mindset shift. Because like I said, those are the two things that, you know, really keep playing in my head. And as far as the positive affirmations, the reason why I decided to start every day with that, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's the post that I've been posting every day in the team page. But the reason I decided to start with positive affirmation is because, like I said, if your mindset isn't there, the mindset has to be there. Like, you have to have that positive driven mindset in order to make things happen. Okay. So I really believe that your mindset is probably the most important starting point. Okay. So that's why I went with the positive affirmations, because even though that might seem like hocus pocus stuff sometimes, the personal development and the positive affirmations and all that, it is so important, and you will find that as you move forward in your business. Okay. So I wanted to start with the positive affirmations, and then I really wanted to kind of take and give you guys some action steps that you can do in your business, because I find that a lot of coaches kind of feel stuck sometimes. And majority of the time it's because they're like, I don't really know what to do. Okay. So the point of me sharing those posts every day, you guys can take and you can do exactly what I write. You can use my ideas exactly, but it was more so a way to kind of give you guys some ideas and help you get some ideas flowing of things that you can post about, things in the business that you can talk about, different action that you can take in your business. Okay. So when it comes to the things that like your upline shares or that, you know, I share or whatever, I want you guys to really kind of look at your upline more of like a guide. Okay. I want you to look at like me and Leslie and your upline coach as your guide, but I don't want you to ever feel like you need to like stop at us. And I feel like a lot of coaches kind of make that mistake where, you know, for instance, they read the posts that I share every day, and, you know, they have an idea of, oh, like this gave me a really good idea of something I could post about. And they're like, oh, well, Steph, you know, said to post this, this, and this. So I'm not going to post that idea that I thought of. And I don't want you guys to do that. Like I want to help be your guide. I want to help, you know, teach you and show you and all that. But I also don't want you to ever hold yourself back thinking that you can't be your own person in this business, because you have to be able to form your own ideas. When it comes to your business, you have to be able to go above your upline and outside of your upline. Because if you don't, you're kind of just going to cruise in the same spot. Okay. So don't be afraid to be independent. And don't be afraid to form your own ideas and to take your own action, and to try your own things, try new things in your business. That's how you learn, and that's how you grow as an entrepreneur. Okay. And it is your business. You are an entrepreneur. So just kind of keep that in mind. And, you know, don't be afraid to actually really dive in and do the personal work as well. Work on yourself. Go out there and find the information that you need to find. That's really important. Okay. So don't become dependent on your upline to do this. And I talked about the video that I shared with Emily Favre, and that's something she talked about in the video that I really liked that she shared that aspect, because if you guys don't know, Emily Favre is number 2 in the network right now. She went from being like an emerald coach. She was either emerald or diamond, but she was not higher than diamond. Was she emerald or diamond, Leslie?
Diamond.
Okay. Diamond. So she sat at diamond for like 2 years. Like she just kind of cruised as a diamond coach. And if you don't know what diamond is, it basically means you have like 8 coaches under you, 2 who are like kind of working the business. So for like 2 years, she was just a diamond coach. And then one day, like I said, she had that mindset shift and took major action. And she is now number 2 in the network. And she's like a 20-star diamond, which if you don't know what that means that she went from a diamond coach herself to helping like 20-something people on her team, her coaches, become diamond coaches, which is freaking incredible. I think that she probably holds the highest record in the company right now for advancing as quick and as much as she did in that short period of time. So The reason I talk about her is because she's number 2 in the whole company, the entire network, out of hundreds of thousands of coaches. And then her upline, Ashley Molstad, is number 1. But I loved that Emily talked about in the video, she talked about how she did not depend on Ashley. So her and Ashley are really close. They're actually like really good friends. And I always had this idea that, you know, Ashley kind of taught Emily everything. Like I always had this thought that because Ashley was number 1, she kind of taught Emily everything. And it was cool to hear Emily talk about how like Ashley was there for her and, you know, guided her and all that good stuff. But the success that Emily had was by her figuring out her own stuff, deciding that she was going to do her own trainings, and her own team calls and things like that. And she talked about how she didn't wait for her upline Ashley to teach her all these things, or she didn't wait for her upline Ashley to do these things for her. Instead, she said, hey, I'm going to just dive in and do it. And even if it flops, who cares? I'm going to give it a try. So I think it's really, really important that you're not afraid to kind of go out on your own a little bit and kind of try your own thing and just take massive action. Okay. Guys, if it was, you have probably heard me talk about this before, but if I ever stopped at my upline or I ever, you know, waited for my uplines in the business to do something for me, I wouldn't have gone anywhere. So, long story short, I have had 3 different uplines in the business. I now only have 1 upline. But none of my uplines have they've never like held my hand through the business is the best way to put it. They don't reach out to me. They don't check in with me. They don't, you know, share special trainings or anything like that. I think sometimes people have this idea that, you know, just like I thought about Ashley Molstad with Emily Faber, it's like you have this idea if people are under this top coach in the network, they have all the secrets, right? Like they know everything and they have all the secrets and they're giving it to their downline and their downline is just going to have all this success because their uplines are doing everything for them. And I can tell you guys, my upline that I'm under right now has always been one of the top coaches in the company. And there's nothing special that we get. There's no special secrets. There's no special treatment. There's nothing like that. Okay. Once again, it's just, she's there for guidance. If I need her, I know that I can reach out to her. But there's not any secret thing that you should be hoping for or wishing for is going to happen. It really honestly amounts to you deciding that you're going to make it happen. Okay. All right. So as far as taking action, since we're talking about that now, a couple things that I jotted down that I just, you know, I kind of want to point out to you guys to help you guys continue to take that action. Because like I said, I know a lot of coaches kind of struggle with like, oh, I don't know what to do. Okay, so you say to, you know, take action in my business. Well, what does that mean? What do I do? So as far as posting on social media, which is super important for our business, okay? Posting on your Facebook page, posting on your Instagram, posting in your Instagram stories and your Facebook stories. Figure out what works for you. Figure out where your audience is hanging out. What feels good, what gets you excited. It might be all 4 of those things. You might find that you kind of lean more towards one than the other. So you just got to kind of play around with that and figure it out. But it's very important that you are posting on social media, that you're using at least a couple of those platforms and you're using them consistently. Okay. That is very important in our business. So I would say that another very important thing to really be consistent with and kind of work on mastering is your posting on social media. And I know that that's something that some coaches struggle with because, again, they're like, okay, you know, what do I post? What do I talk about? So I think that if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling like you're in a funk or whatever when it comes to your business or posting, you need to get that inspiration flowing again. I know with me, when I find myself in that place, I'm like, okay, I need inspiration. Like I got to get my creative juices flowing. I got to get that, you know, like the posting juices flowing again. So a couple ways I do that. The first thing you can do is you can go through and you can find old pictures of yourself, okay? And this, you might be like, what the heck, how's that gonna give me inspiration? Well, if you go back and you look through like Facebook memories or go through, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I have albums on my Facebook from like 2008, 2009, which by the way, if you guys don't know this, if you have like your old school albums where it was like your drunken nights with your friends and all that good stuff, you don't have to delete the whole album. You can actually change the album to where it says that only you can view it. It's like an option when you click on the album as a drop down bar. You can make it to where only you can see those pictures, which is probably a good idea if you still have those albums chilling from years ago. So I went back through a long time ago and had quite a few albums that I was like, whoa, those were my crazy days, so I'm going to just hide that. But honestly, it is a good place for me to go back and look sometimes and remember, like, holy crap, I've come a long ways. And because you forget, you know, as you're on this journey and, you know, as the years pass, you really kind of forget like how far you've come. So go to those old albums or go to your Facebook memories or go into your computer. Like we all have old pictures from somewhere, okay? And use that as inspiration to not only see how far you've come, but share that. Take and do like a before and after picture, okay? Your before and after pictures, guys, they don't always have to be like about exercise. It can be about lifestyle changes. It can be about, you know, all the ways that you're changing on this journey. It doesn't only have to be fitness, okay? So go find some of those pictures, get the inspiration flowing for the post, do a before and after picture and talk about, you know, the ways that you've changed and how far you've come, and use those pictures, okay? Another thing you can do, and with this, I will say you probably need to like set a timer or be intentional about your time with this because you can get really wrapped up in it. But I don't know if you guys have found like me, scrolling Facebook nowadays doesn't really inspire me. It actually almost like brings me down and puts me in like a really negative mindset. So I used to be the person that kind of scrolled Facebook for inspiration, like back in the day, you know, or to kind of see like what my people are doing. And I will tell you guys nowadays, I really try to stay away from scrolling Facebook. I do go on there. I try to go on there like once a day, mainly to see like you guys. And I'll scroll through my Facebook to kind of find you guys and see what you're doing and support your posts and all that. But besides that, I really try to stay out of my newsfeed on Facebook because like I said, it is for your mindset, it's not good. So be intentional about that too. If you guys find that, you know, there's something that you're looking at or reading or whatever, and it's like putting you in a negative spot, get off of that. Like stay away from that mindset. Okay. So scrolling Facebook doesn't really do it for me anymore, but something that you could do is you can go on to Instagram. And now this is if you're looking for like post inspiration, like things that are going to, you know, be attractive to your eye or things that are going to interest you that might interest your people, things like that. You can go to your Instagram page and you can click the little search bar and there'll be a little tab that says for you. And what Instagram does is it shows you things that they feel like you would enjoy looking at. So chances are it's going to be stuff that inspires you, or it's going to be like a picture that you're like, oh, that's a really cool idea. Like that's something creative. For example, the other day I was in there looking and there was a picture of a girl like at a beach. And whoever took the picture of her was holding like a flower or like a palm tree leaf or something like that. And it was like covering her. So it was like covering her bathing suit, but like you could still see her. And that is like my style. I'm always at the beach, always, you know, taking pictures with that kind of stuff. So that I was like, that's really cool. Like, I really love that. Chances are if that's my style, it's going to be, you know, my followers' style. So you can go and you can get inspiration through those things. I just will like screenshot a picture if I'm like, that's really cool. I really like that. And you can just save those for like different ideas for when you're feeling stuck and you just kind of need some inspiration. You can do it on Pinterest too. So whatever works for you. And then the last thing I wrote down is coaches who inspire you. So again, if you feel like you're in that place where you're like, I'm just feeling kind of like blah, or I'm in a funk, or I don't really have anything to post about, or I don't know what to post about, think of a coach that inspires you. Go to their page, scroll through their page for a couple of minutes. I'm not saying copy their post. Don't go copying their post word from word or doing the exact same picture or whatever. But look through their stuff and get inspired by them, and then use that to kind of create your own thing. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got for those things. And now we're going to kind of switch to the Tony Robbins thing. So I have this in my phone. All right, so as far as taking action, those are the things that I jotted down for the night. So just don't get stuck when it comes to taking action, guys. Like I said, just, go out there and find your own stuff. If you have a question, something that you're wondering about in the business, or something that you feel like you need to learn about, go find a YouTube video for it. Actually, something I was going to mention. So my upline coach, Lindsay Matway, I'm obviously in her personally sponsored coaches page, and I actually was in there today, and I was watching some of her coaches ask her questions about different things, like about team volume, how it works, or different stuff like that. And when people ask her those questions, she literally will tell them, go to YouTube and find a video of it, or go on Google and find a video. And I will tell you guys that if you ever come to me and ask me something like that, I probably won't be like, I don't know, go to YouTube. But I will probably find the YouTube video and send it to you, because honestly, that is the easiest way to learn these types of things. If you have a question, chances are Google can answer it for you. YouTube can answer it for you. So my point is, don't sit back and wait for yourself to kind of accidentally come across the answer to that question later on. If you find that you need to know something, reach out to your upline, or just jump on Google or YouTube and find it for yourself. Okay, there is information out there for everything you need to know. The team training, was just about to say that, Leslie. FAQ, everything you need to know is out there. You can find it, okay? You have a team training in your Coach Online office that tells you everything. I'm working on a new team training, so hopefully that's going to cover some stuff too. But don't ever stay stuck because you're lacking information, because if you do that, that is your own fault. You're holding yourself back. Okay. All right. So now we're going to kind of switch to the mindset part, and I'm going to do some activities with you guys that Tony Robbins did, and some things that he shared when I went to see him in Orlando last week, I think it was. So I think you guys all know who Tony Robbins is. If you don't, he's the #1 motivational speaker. He's freaking incredible. I love him because he comes from a very difficult childhood, but he took everything from his past and turned it into good. And that is his big thing, is that he took his pain and turned it into good. And he is very much constantly on top of his mindset. He is all about mindset and staying positive and staying energetic and staying out of your head, but controlling your mindset. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is, he shared something with us. I actually have a screenshot of it that I'm going to post in the team page, but he talked about creating results and how you do that, or the results you get in your life and how those come about. Okay. Because he very much believes that the results you get are completely up to you. The results you end up with are something you did. Okay. So he says that the results, results start with your state of mind. Okay. And your state of mind is determined by your focus and your physiology. Okay, so obviously your focus is, the things that you're thinking about, you're focusing on. Okay, so if we were talking about in our business, are you focusing on bringing new challengers in, or are you focused on the fear that you're not going to find new challengers? So you always need to make sure that your focus is moving you forward in a positive way. The next thing is your physiology. And this is your physical state of your body. And this is something that was really cool to experience with him. And it's honestly something that I never put so much thought into. Ty, I need that, bud. My notes are on there. It's something that I never put so much thought into until this night with him. But he is huge on the fact that your motivation comes from your physical state. That what you do physically with your body is like the determining factor of all of your motivation. So throughout his entire seminar, it was really cool. Anytime like he would say something that people liked or whatever, and people would start clapping, anytime people would clap, music would start playing, and then he would start clapping, and everybody had to like get up, raise the roof, like scream and shout and make like noises. He always said, you know, shout something, shout a noise of joy or shout a noise of happiness. And at first it was like, this is really fucking weird. Why are we doing this? Like, I feel like an idiot. And then by the end of the seminar, like, you didn't even think twice about it. And everybody's like jumping around. And it was crazy, you guys. The beginning of the seminar, okay, so earlier in the night, the beginning of it, I'm like yawning and exhausted. And then by the end of the night, like 2 or 3 hours later or whatever it was, I was more energetic then than I was in the beginning. And it was literally because physically we were moving and we were shouting and there was music playing. And then I watched a documentary of his. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you can watch it on Netflix. It's called Tony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru. I Am Not Your Guru is the name of it. And every time before he goes on set, every time before he goes on to do a seminar or whatever he's doing, he has a little trampoline and he bounces on his trampoline. And then behind the stage, like right before he goes out on stage, he does this like twisty thing where he like throws his arms up and twists and like throws his hand. And it's like his signature move that he does to get himself pumped. And he does that like regularly every single time. So that was a big thing of his. If you're like not motivated or you're tired or whatever, you need to get up and move. He talked about exercise, which I thought was awesome because I was like, wow, how cool. We are in the business of health and fitness and helping people's mindset, and fitness and exercise and moving and being active is such an important part of your motivation and your mindset. And it all seriously goes hand in hand. So the point of all that is your state of mind, what you focus on, and your physiology, okay? So you need to make sure that your focus is in a good place and that your physical state is in a good place, that you're being active, that you know, you're doing things that are going to pump you up. You're listening to music that, you know, gets you excited, and you're moving and you're doing things like that, okay? So your state of mind then determines, hold on, my son took my notes. Okay. So your state of mind is determined by your focus and your physiology. And then results come from your state of mind mixed with your action and your behavior. Okay. So he talked about your actions and your behavior. And he talked about like the way you respond to things. And he used this hilarious example, which is not going to be as funny when I say it, but I'm going to tell you guys anyways. So he talked about how when he was like first in business and his, you know, employees or whoever, they came to him one day and they were like, so Mr. Robbins, we misplaced $125,000 and we're not sure where it went. And he said that, you know, back then his reaction was like, what the hell? Like, well, how did you do that? How did you lose that money? Blah, blah, blah. And when you react that way and when you have that behavior, it puts your state of mind in a negative state of mind, right? Then you're in like a stress state of mind. Your physiology is not good. You're angry, you're puffed up, you're making your body stressed out. So he said that he started, you know, being aware of his behavior and the way he responds to things and his actions. And so he said, next time something like that happened, his employees came to him and they said, Mr. Robbins, we misplaced $125,000 and we're not sure where it went. And he said, and I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. that is crazy. How did you misplace such a large amount of money in such a short period of time? That is freaking fantastic. And he was like joking, but he was kind of being serious and talking about how your response to certain things, you have total control of your behavior and your response and your body and your physiology. And the way you handle all these things is going to affect your mental state, your state of mind. Okay. And then all those things together combined are going to produce the results in your life. Okay. So if you want positive results, if you want success, if you want all of that, you have to stay on top of the state of mind, the focus, the physiology, your behavior, your actions. Okay. Don't be a victim. Don't be an angry person. Try to really, be cognizant of those things and try to practice those every day. That's the hard part, is practicing these things every day and staying aware of them. Okay. All right. So now let me see this guy. I'm almost done though. Okay. So I'll share the screenshot to that too, just so you guys can kind of remember it. But now the last thing I'm going to share with you guys is a series of questions. So, oops, I forgot. I meant to tell you guys to get something to write with. So either just grab your phone. I have it in the notes section of my phone. Either just grab your phone or a pen and paper. And I'm not going to actually like pause and have you answer the questions on the call because we'll end up being on here all night. But I'll give you a few minutes and kind of give you an example. But I'm going to go through and read some questions that he gave to us. So I'll wait just a second. Ugh, I took a shower right before the call and my hair is like in that like in between dry state where it's like, ugh, like you can't run your fingers through it. It's driving me nuts. Okay, so the first question is, and of course when he did this, he had like the music playing that like got your mind going, but I don't have the full experience for you guys. But these questions will seriously help your mindset and help you move forward in your business and your life in general. Okay, so the first question is, what does an extraordinary life look like 6 to 12 months from now? So write that down. What does your extraordinary life look like 6 to 12 months from now? You don't have to answer it right now. You can take later on, you can take some time to really think about it, but be specific. Okay. What does it look like? And don't hold yourself back either. Don't be like, oh, that's not going to happen. Like that's too far-fetched or whatever. Write down like specifically, what does an extraordinary life look like for you? If you could have your life however you want it to be. A couple things I wrote: better health, more energy, less fear. Okay, what has prevented that from happening in the past? So think about, what have you been doing that has prevented your extraordinary life from happening in the past? For me, a couple things I wrote down: fear, stress, staying stuck. A big one is laziness. Be honest with yourself. That's something I wrote down. I'm not calling you guys lazy. That's something I wrote down. But be honest, what's prevented, these things from happening? Is it fear? Is it, you being lazy? What is it? And then write down, what do I need to change now? So what's preventing these things from happening and what do you need to change right now? The first thing I wrote was more physical activity because I had learned that is a big determining factor. I wrote down I need to be more proactive about growing. I need to let go of fear, and I need to be more proactive about curing my health issues. Because I think sometimes when things are like scary, like with me, my health stuff is kind of like an ongoing battle, and I get fearful of like what the future is going to hold with it. So instead of facing it head on, I put it off and I put it off and I put it off. So think about, the things that you're holding back and what you need to do right now to really change it. And then it says, if you get stressed, so write this down. Or you can write, if I get stressed, step out of it. It's not worth it because. So if I get stressed, step out of it. It's not worth it because. And then you need to write your reasons. So a few things I wrote: it's making me sick, it's holding me back, it's negatively affecting my kids, it's negatively affecting my marriage, it's keeping me stuck, it's ruining my relationships, it's making me bitter. Okay, so these are all things that, you know, we were like kind of prompted to think about throughout the seminar. And then I really liked this one because I feel like this is something that I had never really thought about before. But he asked, what are your 2 favorite flavors of suffering? So to give you an example, okay, so like when you're like upset about something, or when you find that like you're the most stressed, or like you're the most afraid, or whatever's happening, like what are the 2 like ways that you act, or the 2 things that are happening to you? So for example, my 2 flavors of suffering are anxiety and bitterness. So my anxiety will like manifest itself in my fears, you know, and things like that. When I feel like people are like walking on me, or I'm being too much of a people pleaser, I get bitter. Like I get really bitter. And I find that those are the 2 areas that when it comes to suffering, those are the 2 areas where I end up: anxiety and bitterness. So what are your 2 flavors of suffering? And then, well, and to give you guys some more example, like some people might be, shoot, I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking about some common ones that I see. Obviously, anger is one. Blame. You start blaming other people. I see that a lot, like, you know, with people, like giving up. I don't want to say lazy, but like, you know, throwing in the towel and giving up, or, you know, you resort to, I'm not good enough, you know, you start doubting yourself. Okay, and then, so your 2 favorite flavors of suffering, and then what triggers them? So what do you find triggers those things most often for you? So for me, I find, you know, like the selfish people, or the people that are like walking on me or treating me like a doormat or whatever. Negative stories. My anxiety gets triggered really bad when, you know, I'm in my news feed reading like all the awful things happening in the world. Naysayers or haters, whatever, like that will trigger my bitterness. So what are the things that trigger your 2 flavors of suffering? And then what could you do instead? So what could I do instead? For me, I could, you know, for the selfish people or the people that walk on me, I can stand up for myself in a strong but a positive way. You know, for naysayers or haters, I can ignore them. For anxiety, I can stop reading or listening to anxiety spiking things. Okay, so that's it for the question. So the last one was, what could you do instead? And then the last thing he really talked about is trading your expectations for appreciation. So, which I think we've probably all heard before, but write it down because I feel like it's something that we need to remind ourselves of. So trade your expectations for appreciation, because when, you know, especially in our business, I feel like, you know, like if you have a goal that you set, for example, if you have this big goal that you set and you're working super hard towards it and you end up not achieving it, if you resort to, you know, focusing on the expectation, like, oh, you know, I worked really hard to achieve that goal and I gave it my all and it still didn't happen. You're going to resort back to your favorite flavor of suffering, right? You're going to start feeling like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or, you know, I didn't do enough work, or whatever it is. Where instead, if you change that to appreciation, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I didn't hit that big goal, but I added this many people to my network, or I connected with this many people, or hey, you know what? I just got out of my comfort zone a little bit. I got a little bit better with my posting. I found a little bit more consistency. Okay, so there's always something that you can find to appreciate or be grateful for, or something positive you can focus on. And I really kind of like taking all this and really kind of looking at it in the light of our businesses too, because I really feel like it all kind of goes hand in hand. The mindset, the lifestyle, all of that really goes hand in hand with our business, which is something I really love about our business. So, all right, guys. So that is all I've got as far as action and mindset. Go through those questions and really, you know, write them down and keep them close by and look at them like every day, and really try to start getting into that practice. One thing that I've really been focusing on more is the physical state of mind. Like today when I was feeling like crap, I'm like, get over it, you know, get up, get moving. Like the last thing you want to do when you're feeling sick is, you know, get on a call or, you know, do whatever, but you got to motivate yourself. You got to find the energy and make it happen, because these times are always going to come up. You're going to get sick. Something's going to happen to the kids. You're going to be busy, whatever. So I've been trying to be more intentional about all that. So, all right. We didn't even go until 9 o'clock. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about or share? Any goals you have for the month? Anything you're excited about? So I don't want to call you guys out, but I do want to call you guys out. I'm probably going to call you out again in the team page. But I think that Leslie and Elise are going to hit diamond this month. I feel it happening. And I totally know that they can do it. And I'm excited about that, because I think that you guys are going to make that happen. I know you're both, Leslie, I know you're like super, super close. And Elise, you're freaking killing it.
Elise is doing amazing.
I know.
Where are you?
She's hiding from us.
I know. No, I can see that coming too, and I feel like I needed this call, because last month I feel like what you were saying, like I got down on myself and I let it like affect me, and my month was like so off. So this is definitely helpful, and I appreciate it.
So that actually reminded me, Leslie, I meant to text you the other day. I was going to share this with you. What is my computer doing? So something else I was thinking about on tonight's call that I wanted to kind of share, and I'm kind of thinking about how I want to word it. Hopefully it comes out right, how I actually want to say it. But so I think in our business, we should all set goals. Like, okay, so Success Club, like, you know, hitting Success Club is important because it gives you the accountability that you're working towards what you need to be working towards in your business. It shows you that you're moving forward and you're doing the right things and you're doing the vital behaviors, because you're achieving Success Club, which means that you're bringing new people in. Rank is important because, you know, we all want to make income, right? So if you're achieving ranks or achieving certain ranks, that means that you're growing your business, you're growing your team, you're showing other people that, hey, they can do this too. You can do it, you know, come do it with me. So I think it's really important that we do have a focus on those things and that we're aware of those things. There's a fine line between like just being like, oh, Success Club and rank doesn't matter at all, whatever. And then getting like obsessed with it. So my point, hopefully this kind of makes sense, is that I think we do need to focus on those things. I know what my rank is every week. I know what my goal rank is every day. I do my darndest to hit Success Club every single month. I never want to miss it. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to ever like get caught up on the title or the rank, because you have to remember at the end of the day, like all these accolades that we have, nobody knows what they mean except other coaches. Okay. And you should want them and you should feel like prideful when you have them, like Success Club All-Star. Obviously that's an awesome achievement and that's something you want and you should feel prideful. But at the same time, that only really means something to us. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's going to put a title behind your name, which is amazing, but only coaches know what that means. As far as ranks, people outside of the business, like, they don't know what a rank is. You know, what people outside of the business, what they care about seeing is that you're happy and you're excited and you're sharing that and you're moving forward in your business and you're accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish in your life. And those are the things that you really want to make sure that you're sharing and everything. And Leslie, you obviously do a freaking awesome job at that. So, you know, as far as you saying like not getting stuck last month, I don't ever want to see you get stuck with that, because I feel like, you know, another thing I was thinking about too is as your team grows, like, there's this shift where it's not all about like you and your business anymore, you know, and you guys will all feel this as you start to like really grow your team. And then you're like, whoa, like I have a lot of coaches under me and holy crap, like I'm a leader. And, you know, I have to kind of show these coaches the ropes. There's going to come a time where some of your time is split up into your team or onto your team, and your focus has to be onto your team. So it might be a little bit of a transition. And you might even find there's some months, even when you've had a team for a long time, where you're like, wait, like, do I want to focus on my team or my business or both? Or how do I find that balance? So you're going to find that there's times where you're like, your heart really feels like your focus needs to be on your team right now. And that might mean that you're not hitting as high numbers as you would normally hit yourself. And that's okay. I mean, I think it's okay anyways. When my business was at its very, very best, my highest rank, my most income, my numbers were personally not at their very, very best. But my team was freaking killing it. So I tell you guys that so you can kind of know that like there is like kind of two sides to it, and it is kind of about finding that balance. And it's also okay if you have months where your numbers aren't as high as they normally are, but your team is doing awesome, or you're, you know, bringing on a lot of new coaches. Or then you might have months where your numbers are a little bit higher, but you don't feel like your team is doing as well as they could be. And then you got to kind of go in and readjust. So Leslie, I feel like your team, I mean, it's like growing super quick right now. You know what I mean? And you have a lot of girls that are doing awesome. Freaking Susan's killing it. Your challenge group is always doing awesome. So, you know, you have different areas where you have to focus right now too. So just keep that in mind too, because it really is kind of a balancing act.
Yeah. Yes, to all of that.
What does your shirt say?
Survival of the fiercest.
Oh, it's Nike. So that's actually something else I was going to tell you guys when I was talking about not scrolling Facebook anymore and like how I really like seriously try to keep the negativity away. Let me just tell you, I got on Facebook today and had no freaking idea what was happening. So I saw a post, somebody's like, hey, if you're going to burn your Nike clothes, give them to me. And I'm like, what the heck is this girl talking about? And then I like started seeing other posts about Kaepernick, or however you say his name, Kaepernick, whatever. And I literally like had to look for the answer of what the hell people were talking about. I'm like, okay, well, I'm clueless, which is a good sign because that means I'm not looking at all this stuff. But I don't know. We live in a crazy world.
No, I know, and it's like all Matt wants to talk about. I'm like, I just don't.
That's another thing. Was it Tony or there was a few speakers there? No, I think it was Tony. Talked about how our media nowadays is literally, it's not used to inform people anymore. Like media, like the news, all that crap is literally not to inform us anymore. Like it used to be to actually give us information and tell us things. And he said now all it is it's literally a scare tactic or, a tactic to catch your attention because it's all about advertisement for people. So it's, how can we get you to read this and look at everything so we can throw those ads in there. So if you're somebody that gets anxiety like me, just don't read the news.
Don't go.
I'm going to stop recording.